I reviewed a book a couple weeks back called The Adventure Crucible by Robin Laws, a really fun book that talked about different adventure models, what the kind of keys to those adventure models are, what sort of the main hooks are to bring in those adventure models. It's a really, really good book. I highly recommend it. You can check out the review. You can also pick it up. There'll be a link to this book in the show notes. It had one small page in it where it talked about this thing called Adventure Pitfalls. So back in the book, there was a section called Fun Ruiners. And the Fun Ruiners took these scenario structures: dungeon, mystery, chain of fights, survival, and intrigue. Those are the 5 kind of adventure types that Robin focused on in this book, and talked about what are the things that get in the way of the fun part of those adventures. And it was like areas that can't be entered, areas that provide only one choice of where to go next for a dungeon, failure to gain information for a mystery, steps towards the next fight are not apparent in a chain of fights, a means of defense or escape are not apparent in survival, or NPCs who don't want anything from the PCs, or negotiating partners the PCs have no way of meeting, are fun ruiners. And I was like, that's very interesting, but I think that's a whole big topic. Like, I think you could write a 54-page book just about the fun ruiners of RPGs. What are the things that get in the way of a good time when it comes to an RPG? And I was like, I want to start thinking about this. I want to start talking to people about this. I want to get feedback from people on this. This is a topic where I really want to like dive deep and bring stuff back. And at first I was like, I'm going to write an article, because when I go is, whenever I get something, like, I'm going to write an article about this. This is important. I'm going to write an article. And the problem is that like it would be an article that's like 50,000 words. So instead I'm like, I'm going to break this down into specific pieces, and I'm going to focus articles on specific pieces and put them all together in a chain of articles that are called like what I'm calling adventure pitfalls, right? What are these fun ruiners? And I started like jotting some notes down on what are the common things that I've heard about where the fun gets ruined when it comes to running these RPGs. And I'm not sure even that adventure pitfalls is the right way to refer to it, because people might think like, well, from whose point of view? Is it from the point of view of the GM, like what's not fun for GM, or what do players do that ruin it? Is it from the point of view of players of what GMs do to ruin it? Is it what adventure publishers are doing that make games bad? Is it about particular adventure style? So I think like, I'm not sure adventure pitfall is the right, but it could be like, RPG session pitfall or something. But what I'm looking for is like, when it comes to the things that happen at the table, what makes the fun? What breaks the fun? I just talked, somebody brings up Counterspell. Counterspell's a fun ruiner. And it is. And I'll tell you where it is. And that's because it removes agency, right? The issue with Counterspell is it takes something away from somebody. That Counterspell, the value, the fun part of Counterspell is the fun you've taken from someone else. And that's why I think it sucks, right? I think you took away something that they were going to do. You took their action away. And that's why, players hate it when they get counterspelled. And I'm pretty sure GMs don't like it when their monsters get counterspelled, unless you're expecting it, right? And like, you can lean into it with lightning rods, and you're like, I'm just going to put guys out there. The whole purpose is to cast spells that get counterspelled. Okay, you can do that. Like, that's lightning rods are a good way to do it. So I started jotting some stuff down, and actually, I think that I'm going to start grouping these into topics. But here's just a list of some of the ones. When you can't find the clues that you need is a real fun ruiner. You want to go forward and you can't find any clues, and you don't know how to get places. You don't know what to do. Like that's a real drag for players when they feel like, and the GM, especially like the GMs who hold their cards close to their chest, who are like, well, you didn't search under the box like you're supposed to search under the box. When there's no decisions to make. Scenes, I'm bad at this. This is something I do. I ruin fun in my game. And one of the ways I ruin fun in my game is when I set up scenes that seem really interesting, but there's no decisions to be made. There's no choices. There's nothing to do. The players sit there and they watch an NPC talk to them, or they hear about stuff, and it's all exposition. And they didn't roll a check. They didn't negotiate. They didn't make a choice. That's not making a choice, not having a decision to make is a fun ruiner. Too many downward beats, definitely a fun ruiner. That when you're going through a dungeon, you're getting traps sprung on you, you're fighting hard battles, you're getting worn down, more traps are sprung, you can't find what you want to find. Too many downward beats, too much stuff. Oh, you got hit with another lightning bolt again. Oh, you made 5 footsteps, you got shot in the eye with a poison arrow. That definitely is a fun ruiner. It makes people want to not play the game. Too much exposition, not enough action. That's kind of similar to the no decisions being made, that essentially like just things are happening, but you're not really involved and your character's not really doing stuff. What are the things that you can do? Meaningless time sinks. Oh, we're rolling a random encounter. You're going to fight 3 bears in the woods. You're not going to learn anything from these bears. It doesn't actually propel the story forward at all. We're just going to have a combat in here. You see this a lot with like adventures where they're expecting, I'm going to pick on AL adventures, but sometimes AL adventures will just have what I refer to as the meaningless middle, right? That you have an adventure where it's like, well, it's 4 hours long. We need to put stuff in here. How about you fight some bears in the woods? Right. But you didn't need to, it's not helping you get to the end of the adventure. You're not learning anything. The good ones, you learn stuff from every encounter that happens. Too much travel. Travel is a real drag. This is something that I'm struggling with Empire of the Ghouls, is making travel meaningful but not boring is hard. And when you're doing a lot of travel, the original Tyranny of Dragons adventures had a lot of travel, thousands of miles of travel. Storm King's Thunder has miles of travel. Empire of the Ghouls has miles and miles of travel. Too much travel can be a drag. It's, because you don't know what to do with it. Unclear goals or motivation. Why am I here? What am I doing here? Why would I go into this dungeon? I just went in there and got punched in the face. Why am I even doing this? If there's no good motivation, it's a fun ruiner. Like, well, I guess I'll just do this because the DM told me to. This is one of my struggles with like old school style adventures, is that idea that treasure is worth more than your life. I don't know how much you can hang on to that these days. And so I think, you need something more. Like what is it that makes the character want to do this thing that is willing to risk their life to do it? In lots of different places, I think is an important consideration. 15 minutes of fun in a 4-hour bag. It's a quote that Wolfgang Bauer had in one of the Kobold guides. I can't remember which one. And he referred to somebody that had kind of just started playing RPGs. It was like, it feels like 15 minutes of fun in a 4-hour bag. How do you make things move? And that's really about pacing. How do you keep the pacing going? How do you keep the spotlight moving so that everybody gets a chance to do stuff? Lots of stuff like that. Taking away player agency, character agency. When you take things away from the characters, stunning. Oh, they got stunned. Sorry, you're stunned. You have to go another round. Oh, you got knocked down right before your turn. Make a death save. When you take agency away from the characters, there's stuff that can happen like in combat that takes away agency. Oh, you're charmed and I want you to attack your friend, but I'm going to make you do it. You don't actually get to do anything. That's no fun. But also taking agency away from them in the story, that they just have to move from point A to point B. They don't really get a choice. Again, that idea of choice. That taking away agency really is an issue in lots of different ways. And some of the worst, the most egregious, which are like common, they're like, oh, you got captured. All your stuff's gone. You don't know where it is. You're in a cell. Figure it out. And you're like, great. The best thing that can happen is for me to get back to where I started. That sucks. My wife has a couple different stories. One where she was playing a game and it was in 4th edition times, and that they were like a Paragon tier 4th edition. So it was like, above 10th level. And they said, you only get to use at-will abilities. You can't use your encounter abilities or your dailies or any of your triggered. You can only use your at-will abilities for this whole adventure. She's like, why do I have all this stuff and I can't use it? And she just hated and she doesn't even remember like what happened in the adventure or why that was the case. It doesn't matter. You just took 2/3 of her toys away. Right? Why would you do that? When you have somebody that gets captured, it's the worst. Don't have characters purposefully get captured unless the story drives it that way without you forcing it. If they're in a battle and they lose the battle legitimately, you didn't stack the deck. You didn't do, there was an Adventures League adventure where you like 50 drow surround you and shoot you with sleep bolts. Right? You got captured. We let you fight it out, but you still got captured. No, you didn't. You just threw 50 drow with sleep bolts on us. So when you force capture, that's the worst. The only time that can work is if you do it right in the beginning. Out of the Abyss does a really good job. It's the only way I've seen capture work, which is you start captured. You didn't lose anything because you never had anything to start with. You started with nothing, and now a kobold sword is really, really good. That's different because you're not taking something away. You're not taking away agency. And it's just not, taking away agency in the form of the abilities that they have, taking it away in the form of the choices that they can make, in the types of actions that they can take or the lack of actions that they can take. That loss of character agency is a big one. And that was actually the first article that I wrote on this, was just on that, just on the idea of don't take character agency away because it just ruins the game for people. Save your NPCs. I've heard stories of people where, we do this thing. My favorite one was from World of Warcraft, where you were fighting the Lich King. And you got you and all of your raiding friends together to go fight the Lich King. And it was like this 3-phase, 30-minute big boss fight. And then at the end, he kills all of you. He just does it. Bang, you're all dead. And all your guys fall over dead. And then miraculously, the magical NPCs show up and resurrect all of you again and then like kill the Lich King. And you're like, where were you a half hour ago? First of all, why didn't the Lich King just kill us all and make us waste 30 minutes of dancing around on Tron-like weird, circle things where you'd fall off and die? Why do that when you could just kill us all outright? And then why wouldn't the NPC, why am I even here? The NPC I'll be back in the tavern. I'll be doing the dancing over in the bazaar on one of the little pillars. Why even do that? So don't have NPCs come in and save the day. I had a game once where we got captured, which already sucked. We're in the cells, which already sucked. We're trying to negotiate our way out of the cell. That didn't work, even though we're rolling really high. We're trying to pick the locks. That's not working. We're using abilities we should be able to use. Like, can I mage hand? Well, no, they've used anti-magic stuff here. So everything that we tried, we tried a lot, and it went on for like a half hour. And then an NPC came and saved us. And we're like, and it was clear it wasn't because we didn't figure out how to get out, because we came up with some pretty ingenious ways of getting out. It was because the story was and the NPC was going to come and save us. That's really bad. There are all these different pitfalls. I think this is a really deep topic. I think there's lots of different ways to think about what are the ways that adventures tend to fall down that are common, that actually happen at our table, and how do we make sure that stuff's not fun anymore? So something I'm going to be paying more attention to. I'd love to hear your ideas. Please leave comments, send email, talk about it in Discord. Tell me what you think about what common adventure pitfalls, what are common things you see that happen that you've experienced, that maybe you've done. Let's be honest with ourselves. I do some of these things. I've made these mistakes. That we do these things sometimes because they feel right at the time. And you're like, oh God, I just made the whole game not much fun because I was like being too hard on them, or I didn't take control of certain things, or I took control away from things. We do these things. So what are yours? What are the ones you've seen as players? What are the things you've seen as GMs? What are the pitfalls for our games? Things that we put in place with the best of intentions and they fall flat and they actually make the game worse. I'm really interested in that idea.